Hey guys, episode 44 of KIRAKIRA Precure was Akira's episode. We finally had a conclusion of Chocolat's character. I don't think we were gonna have more development on the characters, at least individually, so I think this was basically the conclusion of her character. So we're up to two characters now, which are Yukari and our main character Ichika, but let's talk about Chocolat's episode and Chocolat's development. I think the first thing that I want to notice about this episode was that it already started in a very dramatic way. This episode was way too dramatic, and it was very different from the other character-centric episodes we had. I think that so far we had great episodes, we had great development, but in this one, I don't think so. I think this one was the worst out of the four that we've had so far, and I really hope this is going to be the worst one out of every character-centered episode. I feel like there was a lot missing when it comes to Akira's character, and this episode didn't really broadcast it all. But I really liked the dramatic and dark tone the episode had. It was interesting and it was nice seeing Eliseo in action. We all know Eliseo is a bastard, and the way he acted in this episode was pretty strong. Because he always has victims, but this time he chose a child, and he picked on a very fragile part of her, and he messed with her emotions while also bringing her sickness, and that is very evil. And that's what I like about Eliseo. He goes all the way in his villainous. He goes all the way. But okay, talking about the episode itself, we've had some pretty cute, sweet moments between Akira and her sister Miku. And I liked Miku's way of reacting to the way Akira talks about her dreams. Because if you think about it, if you put yourself in Miku's shoes, you will I do understand the way she acts. Because you have someone else betting their dreams and their future all upon something that is related to you, not to that person specifically. So we have Akira, who's willing to become a doctor, who's willing to study and to become a doctor so that she can heal Miku. And then it puts kind of a burden in Miku, because Miku will probably think like, she's only doing it because I am sick, because of my sickness, and not because she wants to do it. And that's not something very good. I feel like this is something very heavy for someone to take the burden on. And I do understand Miku's anger in that part. And the telephone scene was so good. It was so nicely done when Miku got on the phone and then Eliseo started talking to her. I was like, Eliseo's not gonna do it to a child. He's not gonna talk like that to a child, but he did. And he's so evil. It was so powerful. It was so evil. I was really scared. And it reminded me a little bit of Sailor Iron Mouse from Sailor Moon Stars, because she also used a telephone, even though she used those English telephone cabins. And she used them to teleport, and Galaxia also used the telephones to communicate with her. But Eliseo used it to communicate with Miku, and then Miku disappeared. I feel like another thing that I didn't like about this episode was the special Yukari Akira moments. We're not seeing that happen so much, and it's very strange because this specific duo is very popular. The fandom seems to love them, and the Japanese fandom specifically seems to love Makaron. They seem to love Yukari, so it's interesting in a bad way, seeing that they're not really exploring this the part of the series that they could. I mean, Yukari noticed there was something wrong with Akira, but it wasn't really built upon. They didn't really focus on that. And I feel like that scene with Chocolat and with Akira and Ichika could have been replaced with Yukari. Ichika could have been replaced with Yukari. They should have had a little moment in this episode, and Yukari should have helped her in a way. But in the end, Akira was alone and she had to go all by herself to try to save Miku. But Pecorin going with her was a nice touch. I have no idea why they chose to put Pecorin with her, but it was a very beautiful touch. It was very nice seeing Pecorin on her shoulder all the time. And when she got there, I was expecting to see a little more action because I saw that chocolate sword. That chocolate sword is gorgeous, and I thought they were going to fight. Chocolate and Elisio were going to combat against each other for a while, and we were going to have a nice fighting scene, but we didn't. We had nothing actually. We had just a little bit of confrontation between them. That was it. And then later on, the girls got there, but Miku actually turned into a monster, and this dark side of her, those dark feelings of her, became a monster, and then Akira had to save her, but she ended up becoming stained by a shadow. But that's probably one of the most interesting parts of this episode, which is not saying much because this episode was not that good. You guys know that I feel this way. But I think that it was nice because she used the shadow to confront herself and to also make her stronger. The parts of her that were feeling doubtful, that were feeling guilty about her sister, they ended up becoming what gave her power. And that was interesting. And she said, I'm not going to be stained by a shadow because this is what is giving me power. This doubt, this insecurity, this is giving me power. And that's interesting. That's a very nice philosophy that we should take on in life. Because that is something that usually makes us feel worried, that makes us feel heavy. And if we take it into another way, if we could have a little bit of Akira in our personalities, that would change. That would be very nice. And I don't know, maybe that's a lesson for me. I should think like that a little bit. I should try to apply that to my own life. I know it's hard. And then she was able to have lots of Kirakira when she started shining, and she was able to save Miku from the dark power that was consuming her. But another interesting thing was that dream of hers, it was not only about Miku, it was about helping people in general. She doesn't only want to be a doctor. She wants to be a researcher because she wants to discover cures for illnesses, and especially Miku's illness. I mean, she's obviously thinking about her sister, but not only about her sister. And that's a very good part of Akira's personality. That's definitely a good part of her personality. And, well, I think that's all I wanted to say about this episode. Not much. I don't have much to say. Next episode seems to me that next episode is going to be very dramatic as well. I don't know why. We don't really understand why Yukari is going to leave the girls. But Pecorin was crying. The girls were shocked. But I think we're going to have a very nice and a very whimsical moment with our dear, lovely Cure Makaron. I think Cure Makaron is the best character. You guys know that I love Cure Makaron, so I think that her episode is going to bring back KIRAKIRA Precure's goodness. Leave a comment with your opinions on episode 44. Akira's episode were very, very close to the series ending. My heart is breaking. I don't want to say goodbye to KIRAKIRA Precure, but I want to say hello to Haruto Precure next year. I'm very excited for that season as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!